What's up, guys? My name is Zavier Gussett. I'm on Call the Huddle here with Minnesota lineman Blaise Andries ahead of the NFL Draft. So what's up, Blaise? How you doing?
How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. I'm definitely excited to get to talk to you today. You're a hell of a player. You're a big guy, obviously. So first, I want to start off with a couple quick questions to get everyone watching to get to know you. Is that good?
Yeah, cool.
Okay. First off, Jordan or LeBron?
Jordan or LeBron?
Yeah.
Jordan for the championships, LeBron for the just skill set, I would say.
Okay. That's fair, honestly. I feel like that's fair,
Yeah.
especially the last couple of years. Bron's
I
only
feel like
got one.
that's the cheat answer. It's the best of both worlds.
All right. How about growing up wise? Tell me, NFL or college football? What was it for you as a fan?
NFL for sure. We grew up NFL Sundays, having that on in the house. And then, as recruiting came and went for like college or whatever, got pretty into college football as well there. So,
All right, nice, gotcha. How about next one? Tell me, Drake or Kanye for Blaze?
ooh, probably just Drake. Yeah.
All right, gotcha. I feel like that's what most people's answers have been on here. It's kind of wild.
Yeah.
Okay. What about Xbox or PlayStation? What are you picking for that?
I played an Xbox for a long time. A lot of people are moving over to PlayStation right now. I don't know. I don't game too much, but
Okay.
I think probably PlayStation right now.
Yeah. All right. You got more important things to be worried about, obviously, right now. Uh,
Yeah.
Real quick, Katy Perry or Taylor Swift?
Oh, geez.
These are hard questions here.
Yeah, it's what the people want to know.
Nobody else is
I'd
asking
say,
me these.
I'd say like T Swift probably.
T Swift. All right. I
Well,
like
T
that.
Swift. Yeah.
Now, all right, last one before we start to get into the real questions. If you could play a position, any position other than line in football, tell me what would you pick and why?
Um, Probably quarterback. Have the ball in your hands, right? I just think that's a pretty obvious.
Okay. You pick
If I'm
quarterback?
not offensive line or defensive line, then quarterback. If
Have you ever been quarterback at all your whole career or just line?
oh no, I mean like when I was like a kid, I'd be like schoolyard quarterback, right?
Damn.
You didn't really have too many linemen back then, but
Oh, okay. I gotcha. So first off, obviously, being a lineman, it's something you always got to be ready for contact, and you got to be, ready to hit. Obviously, tell me,
Yeah.
what's your mentality as a lineman? Going ahead guys in games, and tell me how you get ready. Kind of to just block and go up against guys one on one.
So the preparations all throughout the week, and the film you watch, and how you prepare, the looks you see in practice. Basically, on film, what are you looking for? You're looking for their pass rush moves, their like go-to 1, 2, 3 moves, how they get off the ball, if they're explosive, penetrating off the ball, or if they're kind of read stepping it a little bit, and all those things. But like physicality, mindset is like we're taking that man from point A to point B against his will. That's a little something out of Joe Moore's book.
Yeah.
And it's like you just want to dominate the guy, and you want to leave no question in your mind or their mind. You literally want to belittle the guy. So that's how I take it. And you don't stop until that whistle's blown. My high school coach always had a fun saying. If somebody would be like playing past the whistle constantly, he'd tell the ref before the game that the guy's hard on hearing, so he can't really hear too well
Yeah.
because he plays past the whistle so much.
No, I mean definitely. I know watching your film, you hop across the line, the positions obviously, but Mahler is definitely one of the bigger things that pops out on your film. You're definitely one of those guys that are so big. You can dominate most of the guys you go up against. Second thing I wanted to kind of go into, I know you, like I said, play a lot across the line. Tell me, just going into the NFL, what are some aspects of your game that you tried to work on and trying to work on most going into the NFL?
Yeah, just going to the NFL. I think the whole what is it? Versatility of my game is probably one of my biggest assets in my
Right.
game. So like what I have to work with is not just learning these techniques that coaches are teaching us, or learning the different angled pass sets that everyone wants to see and everything like that, but also being able to learn them at every position on both sides of the line, and then also keeping up to date with a little bit of snapping and everything like that, because center is the one position I didn't put on film.
Yeah.
It was funny, they joked at Minnesota that if I came back for a 6th year, they'd give me a start at center.
Oh, wow.
So, coulda, shoulda, woulda, but no. So like just keeping up to date on snapping and everything like that, and being smart enough to handle all the different looks you can have at different positions.
Okay. And then obviously, like we said, you're a big guy. What are you at right now? 6'6", 308 you were at the combine?
Yep, 308 at the combine. I'm staying right between 310 and 315 in terms of weight right now. Just working out, not just working out and staying in shape. I'm here with our tight end and our left tackle right now at Minnesota working out. So.
Okay, gotcha. Have you always been big, or when was it that you realized that you were such a big guy?
Probably freshman and sophomore year of high school. I realized that I was like big enough to play at the next level in college, and then through college you see people come and go in terms of years, and you kind of realize that you've got the size to go to the next level as well. But if everyone this size went to the NFL, then that's all it would be. But you have to put a lot of work into it as well.
Obviously, yeah. The second thing I wanted to ask is are mom and dad big, or are they tall?
Dad's 6'3" and mom's 5'10". So I mean they're both pretty.
Oh.
Okay. I kind of got lucky because my brother's 6'3", and then my two sisters are 5'11" and 6 foot. So
pretty tall family, yeah. Okay. Tell me, so you're from Minnesota, obviously. Tell me, through the recruitment process, and what was that like, and how Minnesota kind of pushed to recruit you. Tell me a lot about that.
Okay, so I think the recruiting process was kind of crazy. I really enjoyed it, but it was a lot of stuff to handle, honestly, because you have school, you got your own like football, basketball, baseball season, or whatever you're playing at that time, and then you've got the recruiting process on top of that. So you'll have to like get done with practice, eat dinner. You've got 3 phone calls at night, so you do those 3 phone calls and talk to each team and whatnot. And then after that, you'd have to go sit down and do your homework for the night and everything. So it was a lot of fun, having a lot of attention really out of high school. I don't know, I ended up with 20 some offers or whatever, and I committed to Minnesota pretty early because they kind of had the unfair advantage to where they were close enough to home, and I knew on the team that I was able to really build those relationships that fast. So I committed pretty early, and then after that, more people started calling and whatnot, and I was 100% committed to Coach Fleck and his staff and the people there, and that's I don't regret it for a second. I love the people here at Minnesota.
Yeah, definitely. Tell me, what has the whole draft process just been like for you just this offseason, going through and working out with teams and talking to teams, obviously. What has the whole thing been like for you?
It's been a lot of fun, honestly. It's kind of like sitting back and being grateful for where you are. It's obviously hard work, but, especially during some of the harder times, like some of the more stressful times that we've been going through, it's just like exactly like I said, like take a step back, like realize where you are, take a deep breath, like look around and smile, because a lot of people would give a lot to be where you are right now.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, just really enjoying it. Talking to teams, some people stressed about the interviews. I enjoy talking to teams. Like, it's just having a conversation, being yourself. I've got nothing to hide, so I mean, I like to have fun with it. And then going out there and performing at the combine, that's exactly what it is. You're put on pressure under the lights, and that's what you got to do is perform. So I thought I did a good job. Obviously, there's things you can do better at, but I thought I did a pretty good job. So
yeah, no, all you can do is have fun with it. Obviously, it's something that not many people get to do. Obviously, so you talked about your playing size a little bit. What were you at during the season for the most part?
Oh, the past 3 years, my playing weight has been obviously 6'6", can't really change the height. But 320, so
okay.
Right around 320.
Have you had change your diet at all through all this off season, or you had to have everything? Has it just been easy to eat?
Yeah. So I trained down at Exos in Phoenix, and the dietitian Araya was her name. She did a great job of just really getting us on a good diet, and I don't know, cutting a lot of calories, a lot of protein, just building up our lean mass and cutting down our fat mass a lot. And we'd have a couple weekly checks on that. I think I cut like 5% body fat or something like that in like 6 or 7 weeks. So it's pretty good. Yeah.
Okay. That's good to hear. I want to talk a little bit about the season. Obviously, a few weeks ago I got to talk to a Colorado linebacker, Carson Wells, and he was telling me that, the Minnesota linemen were guys that, kind of stood out to him when he played them. Tell me, about the line this year and kind of how you guys were so good and so dominant at what you guys did this year, obviously.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun to play with the guys. And we've all been playing together for 5 years now. Daniel was there for 4 years, but we'd all had basically the same line for that entire time. And luckily, knock on wood, we weren't plagued with any like really serious injuries. So just being around the guys that we played with, we're comfortable with each other. We all know the calls. We all know what's going on each play. And yeah, just going out there and dominating with them. And we had a lot of different, packages, whether that be a 6 offensive line, 7 offensive linemen, like package or whatever. And I told coach that I'd be the swing guy. So I'd like go wherever they tell me, and they'd put someone else in. And I ended up all over the place. But yeah, just really going out there and enjoying the time I spent with those guys, because that at the end of the day, offensive line is all about trust. So yeah.
Obviously, you talk about the swing position that you did. It's crazy. You can see in the games you were going from left tackle to left guard to right tackle. Tell me what kind of when was it that you or the coaches really saw that you were able to do that so often as you were?
I don't know. I think the thing came down to where I was intelligent enough to do it. My first year at Minnesota, I redshirted and I played tackle, right? Just preparing to be, if they needed, this was before you could play 4 games with the red shirt. So preparing, like if somebody went down, I would come in at tackle, right? But then my redshirt freshman year, the first year I started, I played right guard. And at the end of the year, our left tackle declared early, so four went to the bowl game, and I moved over to left tackle there. So now I've played guard and tackle really. And then 2019 came around, and I played the entire year at left guard, and then a couple packages where I'd go to right tackle or something like that. And at the end of 2019, our right tackle went down, and I had to go play right tackle for the last 2 games. So it's like, at that point, I've played every position on film.
Yeah.
And then I still had 2 more years to go. So 2020, I played the entire year at right tackle. And then 2021, this last year, I played the entire year at right guard, and then I moved around to right tackle, left tackle. I don't know if I got any left guard in this year. Maybe a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, no, obviously that's crazy. I mean, definitely, like you said, it's the type of thing that you said you had to be forced into a little bit more, but obviously when you got that, it's crazy. Have teams, been on that a lot this offseason when talking to you?
Yeah, I think that's my biggest asset, like I said, is, they always ask me what position I would like to play, and I tell them, you tell me where to go and I'll go there. Like,
Damn.
Just a little time to practice it, but tell me where to go and I'm good to go. Like, I mean, really learning offensive line plays. It obviously changes with pass sets a little bit from guard to tackle, but most of the techniques are similar, right side to left side. You just have to be able to flip your feet. It's not that hard. You're
Okay.
either on the side or the back side. So yeah, it's really the intelligence part isn't too bad.
So for left or right, you don't really have like a preference side at all for left or right side. You're not preferenced.
Nope.
No? Okay.
Nothing.
What's your experience snapping the ball? Like you talked about, obviously you would have gotten a shot this next year, obviously.
Yeah. So snapping the ball, the past 3 years I've snapped the ball pre-practice and pre-games a couple times.
Okay.
There's been a couple times where I was one center removed from playing center, which would have been a lot of fun. If somebody went down, or if two guys went down, I was always like the third center or something like that because I played guard enough. It was just came down to, hey, let's take the glove off and snap finally. But yeah, just being ready when your name's called, really.
Is that something that teams kind of know about you, or do you have to say that you can snap if need be when you're meeting with them?
I tell them the story that I came back for six. They said I can get a start at center and then then snapping.
Okay.
Past 3 years and whatnot. So.
Gotcha. Talking with teams this year, obviously. Tell me, how do you distinguish, certain teams or certain coaches that you talk to, whether it's, coaches, offensive line coaches that you like more, that you kind of attract more to, or is it, a team that shows more interest in you, or how do you distinguish certain meetings or certain teams with other guys?
I would just say, talking with offensive line coaches has been a lot of fun because they're all offensive line coaches. I think most offensive linemen are usually cut from a certain tree of offensive line coaches. Everyone knows everyone really in that world. And it's a lot of fun because a lot of them are teaching really the same thing. It's just in different words or their own terminology or this coaching brand or coaching trees terminology and whatnot. And it's just really a lot of fun learning and connecting the dots from what I've learned from one coach to the other coach, or what I've learned from Coach Callahan here at Minnesota to the NFL coaches, and really just saying oh, well, they taught it the same here, and then figuring out that those coaches had coached together way back in the day or that. Right, I think it's a lot of fun, that's for sure.
Okay, talking mentally, obviously, you're a smart guy. Is there something that you've picked up on this off season, just when talking to guys like that, in terms of mental wise or watching film?
Oh, a lot. Learned a whole new way to identify fronts. That has to do with the backer location and everything, the safety location, all these different words to determine where everyone's at. So that was a lot of fun. And then also the different ways to do pass protection, because it's a little bit different than what we do here. And obviously it's different terminology, I should say. Most things you can connect are the same, but run game, I've seen it all. Learning a little bit of duo, some power that we didn't really have too much time running here. So it was just picking up on little things. And I remember I was in a meeting with the Texans O-line coach, Coach Warhop, and we were talking. It was me and Daniel and Sammy all in one meeting, and we're installing everything. And I just, since we hadn't really ran much power here, I kind of had decided to pick his mind on it a little bit, have him twice over, just because everyone should know how to run power and everything, and I'm just making sure that I have it good in the back of my mind for the next person that teaches me it. So.
Okay. Wow. Definitely. Obviously, we talked about you play guard. but you're 6'6". Obviously, you have the length. Are there any teams that kind of look at you and tell you, they want you more as a tackle or than guard or anything? I know you tested as a guard. You tested at the combine better athletically than most guards. I think almost all guards. Is there any teams that specifically want you more at tackle?
I don't know where teams really want me. I think one thing that comes down to, they're going to tell me where they want me, obviously, once we get down to that conversation. But, once again, it comes down to, I'll play. I think most teams would like me to, once again, be that, swing guy, be able to plug and play anywhere that they need. Say there's a spot open at right and left guard, but this other guy's more comfortable at left guard, then
obviously.
Go to right.
Versatility is obviously so big in the NFL today, especially online.
Yeah, that's what I tell people is if this guy's more comfortable doing that, then give me 3 practices or 2 practices at this, and let's go at it. Yeah,
and obviously that's the great thing that's going to be able to help a team and a whole line in general just block together and get more chemistry together. I always love to hear when I talk to guys. Tell me, throughout your whole collegiate career, obviously you played in Minnesota for a while. You guys had some dogs there. Tell me, who's the best player you've gotten to play with or against, at your time there?
Okay. I'll answer both. One of the best players I played with, I've played with a lot of good players now. Dan and Boye are going to be amazing this year. Then Bate was awesome. He was a game changer as well. But I would say maybe the best out of them all was Antoine Winfield Jr. Way back in the day. He was he had been injured here and there, but he was just different when he was on the field. It was night and day. Especially when we're on the sideline and whatnot, you kind of get to see the whole picture of it all. And getting back there was awesome. But then playing against, I see you're wearing the Penn State sweatshirt. And I would say this is true too, but Micah Parsons was one of the best linebackers I'd ever played against. D lineman, Kwity Paye was very good as well, and we played Aiden Hutchinson 2020 as well. They're great players. But I would say Micah Parsons takes the cap for that one. And then this last year, Leo Chanel was a really good ball player as well.
Okay. Obviously, you've been there for a long time. You've gotten to play so many positions. Tell me, what's the biggest improvement, throughout your time there so far?
My pad level for sure. I came in, tall, lengthy guy. Small town Minnesota where, high pad level is usually forgiven by your size a little bit. But as I've come here, I've learned to bend a lot better and just be able to play a lot lower, especially moving inside at guard and outside to tackle. You're going to have to bend to get people moving, especially in the Big Ten too. But that's one of the biggest things. And then also the physicality, just continuing to grow in that, continuing to get more physical.
Okay. And then the next thing I want to hit on is 77. Is that going to be your NFL number? Or?
If 77's taken, then you know what, I'll find another number. But if it's not taken, then and I get to pick and nobody's heard about it, then I'll take 77.
How long have you been rolling with 77 for? Does that have any meaning behind it, or?
No, just I like it.
It's a good looking number.
Yeah, it's a cool number. I've had it my entire collegiate career. I had 74 in high school, so somebody somewhere in the 70s, I'd assume.
Okay. And then the last one before I want to wrap it up. Did you have a favorite NFL team growing up? I know you said you were a big NFL fan.
Yeah. So we're household Vikings fans, obviously. Grew up in Minnesota. That's pretty obvious. It was funny because our head high school coach is a big Packers fan. So he's actually part owner of the Packers now. So
yeah.
Yeah. So
Damn.
That's a little funny, but I mean, yeah, grew up a Vikings fan. What was it 08 when Favre was there? That was a lot of fun to watch, and then the
Oh yeah.
Miracle, that was fun to watch too.
They've
That
been
was
good the last couple of years too. They've had some exciting players. Obviously, they got a bunch of crazy players
that
right
was
now.
good. Yeah.
You tell me, who's the guy that you look at in the NFL who's you're most excited to want to block when you get there?
Oh, wanting to block?
Yeah, guys that you want to block first.
You know, you gotta take a shot at the best, and you know, Aaron Donald's the best
Donald?
interior D lineman
Okay.
ever. I'd like to, you know, kind of size myself up and see how it goes.
Well, you got the size on him, yeah.
I just the size, but that didn't stop him from anyone else. I just want to, you know, see what happens, because you watch film
Okay.
and he's dominating people. He's probably one of the best interior D linemen of all time, and you know, I'm lucky enough to be on the other side of the ball than him next year. So I mean, you got.
I love that answer. You got to be able to play against the best.
Yeah.
You know, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day, Blaise. Obviously, been wanting to talk to you for a while, so I'm definitely excited. This was so I appreciate you taking the time.
Appreciate it, Zavier. Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Yeah, man, I'll be rooting for you.